up. You're good. Okay, so.
My wife thinks she knows everything that I'm about to say.
Now you always start with okay, so.
Alrighty then. Today, I'm blowing the cobwebs off the combine. Yeah, we got the combine out. I am in the need of some bits and pieces for this machine. Nothing too terrible. I have the belts that I need, except for one, I think. I'm missing the roller for the straw chopper. I'm going to run the straw chopper this year. Last year I did not. The last couple of years I did not, because we were baling fodder off of the fields for the mushroom barns. Well, mushroom barns and dairy industry. So I don't much care about that anymore. We're not going to be doing that anymore because it's too... I'd rather have the corn fodder with fertilizer prices and everything going the way they are. As much nutrient that I can have in the soil breaking down, the better. So that's why we're going that route. This combine is a 1993 model, I believe. It's 93 or 94. I think it's a 93. It really doesn't have too many hours on it. I think it's got 3,200 engine hours on it, which isn't terrible. The guy that owned it before us, this is second hand, they never stored it inside. So any of the rust that you see on this thing, and this here is damage that somebody had did before I got the machine, was done before us. This straw chopper, I don't know what the blades look like in there. They're expensive, stupid expensive to replace those blades. Which, you know, in the end, it doesn't much matter. But there's a few that need to be replaced because it throws it out of balance. I did throw a chain. I threw a chain in there. I welded a chain in there. I did that. And the reason I did that was to try and get it to balance out. And I don't know why those blades, they're nothing to them hardly. But they do need to be replaced. And I don't really care to chop the matter, you know, what's coming out of the combine. I just want to spread it more than anything. And the same thing with the wheat straw. I don't really want to chop it up. I kind of just want to, because I'm going to be running that VT over it, so it doesn't much matter. But really, the only thing we need to really be concerned with here is shit that we don't know about. Things that concerned me last fall, I actually fixed last fall. We had bearings out last fall here. We had two bearings out. This one needed to be torched out. So there's a little fiber thing that belongs in there. I couldn't find it. Burned it out. So all I did was put 3/4 inch washers behind it. This one here we replaced, and I knew that it was going to be a problem. So we didn't torch it out, and I was able to retain that one. This has new clean elevator and tailings elevator chains in. We did last fall. But what I am going to do is replace that chain. That chain is an original chain.
Wow.
On this thing. So that's only on the returns. So anything that comes off the back of the combine over the pan or over the sieves goes back up in here and back into the top of the rotors to be recycled. But that's an original. There's really not that much pressure on it because that just runs a cross auger. Okay, no big deal. This here is for the unloading auger, and I put a new chain in there. We had problems the year before last, and I do need to address that. So we got a parts list we got to put together. We do have to go out to Messick's. I got a bill to pay out there and parts to order.
Okay.
So we got to go to Messick's on that one. So that chain is new. Not going to worry about it. That chain is going to be replaced. Over on the other side, there's a chain that needs to be replaced. And I have to chase down wiring harness. I'm not sure if I'm getting electric back here to adjust my rotor speed or not. It's always something that you need to have on the fly. And the other thing, I got to pull this guy here off. I think there's a new belt on there. Yeah, no. I have a new belt. Feels like the mice have chewed the edge of it because they suck. Not that it matters too much, but I have a new belt. Probably going to start out with a fresh belt. And I have a wiring harness here that seems to need some attention. The electric motor that's in there does work. The problem is I have no power from the cab back. So it's either a switch that's corroded, which is what I'm guessing on both of them, or it's just going to be, you know, me doing something different. Whether I get up there and change all that or not, I don't know. I think there's a pickup sensor on the front here that needs to be addressed. I know there
Jeez,
is.
that's a lot of shit that needs to be addressed then.
Not really, just minor nickel and dime stuff. The variable speed feeder house, I don't really worry about too much. This piece here, this is the feeder house chain. I'm replacing that. It's going to be $1,000 for that thing.
Well, you had fixed it with Tim before. I remember
Well, yeah, it
that.
was broke.
Yeah.
Well, it's worn out. It is an original. So you buy a new feeder house chain or drag chain that with bars, all new. Gonna put that all in new because we got 1,100 acres of crap to get over.
Right.
So that has to be done. Haven't even looked at the headers. The grain platform is going to be coming out of the, it's got to come out and be gone over. So I want to do this first and then do that. You see there's a little damage here, but that doesn't much
It
matter.
looks like it was cut, really.
It wasn't. This thing
That's,
cut it.
oh, okay.
It's as it goes around.
I
So,
see.
you get in, you bang into, I don't know who banged into something. I never did that, but whatever. Maybe before I owned it or whatnot. They're just wear parts. And so that gets straightened out. Over here on this side, there's a chain here, right here that is shot. Behind there's 2 of them. They will be replaced.
Okay.
This chain here will be replaced. This guy, shot. There's no more adjustment left in it.
Wow.
And that's a number 50, so that has to be replaced.
Okay.
This is the 4-wheel drive unit. I replaced this last year. When we had issues with this. Discharge beater last year.
Yeah.
One of the boys got a little careless with this and broke the wire inside that coil. So that is no longer available. I'm sure that a good parts guy
What's
can
up with
find
that belt looks loose?
it. It is. That's your unload belt. So when you want to unload your bin, that belt, this piece here, comes down and engages and disengages.
I see.
So, really not a lot of stuff to do, just stuff that I need to get done. I'm going to obviously be hooking up the straw chopper again. Needs to be done.
That's what it's that for. I see.
That belt goes to the straw chopper. So when you
Right.
start the rotors up, that thing's just going to throw shit everywhere.
Cool.
Hopefully. Now that roller, this belt that runs that roller, I do believe that Cody and Tim broke that on this side. They did. There's this piece out of here and here. I had to give them some hell because you just don't want to break stuff, and things get broken. It kind of annoys me. But anyways, whatever. That's neither here nor there. It's not really going to affect that too much because it's just not going to affect it. It should be okay. Probably chewed the belt up a little bit faster than normal. But all in all, this combine's in good shape.
That's my farmer boy.
Yeah,
Going
farmer
down.
boy. I gotta finish blowing the cobwebs off of it because I hate it when a spider's down my neck. I hate that.
How is it? Spiders
Down
down
my neck. Oh, I hate spiders. There's something about spiders. I can deal with snakes. I don't care if they're poisonous or not. That doesn't matter. Oh, and I'm going to change the engine oil and filters. That's another thing that needs to be done. So we got to get a list together for that. Have you eaten any of those, or are you just...
No, he's not opening it because he's not being a good boy. Are you a good boy?
I'm good.
Give mommy kisses. Thank you.
There you go, dude. Have your hyperactivity today.
Dude,
What do you say to daddy?
thank you.
You're welcome. So anyways, there it is. So that's it. Now, obviously, we're going to change and check fluids. I am low in coolant, which I'm going to put that in now.
Right.
I'm going to order a new windshield wiper because the windshield wiper is not really for water, it's for dust. So when you're running soybeans, all that dust comes up over you. I have an air conditioner pump that needs to be removed and replaced. So I need a pump and a dryer. So we need to write that stuff down. Pump and a dryer. Pump and a dryer. I got a flush system and I've got fresh R134A here to put in there. It will be converted.
You want me to write a list now?
You can.
All right.
You're good. You can shut it off. You ever try to keep a 4-year-old out of fresh concrete? Next to impossible. Look at that. You. Go play with the chickens, you little bum. So, yeah. You're not a bum? Yeah, well, it's not cured yet. It's set up pretty good. Yeah. My wife says it looks like a professional job. I say it looks like a professional mess. But yeah, no, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. There's a couple of things I could touch up on, but you know what? Doesn't much matter because these legs are what's going to sit on that concrete. And I'm going to move these. I'm actually probably going to move it this way some. Just a little bit closer to this way. Yeah, this is still pretty green. If I move this that way 2 feet, I don't really want to do that. I kind of want the auger that I'm going to put underneath here to be hanging over here, so if it does overflow, I've got that much more room to clean up, and I'm okay with that. Trust me, I'm good with that. But we had a little bit of a blowout there. She started to blow out, and the cement truck operator, he's like, "Hey, it's gonna blow out." It's like, "Nah, don't worry about it. I got it. I'll prop it up." So I took a 6x6 that I had, and I jammed that in there, and then I took a spike from one of the from off the front of the 6210R. It got bent, so I drove that into the ground to hold that, and that stopped it from doing its thing. But there's 16 inches of cement underneath this dryer. Why did I do 16 inches? Well, because I never want to play with it again. I do have intentions of upgrading this dryer at some point, and when I do that, I want to have enough thickness on that pad to to be able to withstand the weight. It's a 4,000 pound mix with fiberglass reinforcement. We had a little when my wife gets to her destination. Wow, somebody cooked that wire coating. When my wife gets to her destination, I'm going to see if they've got any knives for this straw chopper. I think I stated this already. I need to replace some of these knives that are in here. I will not be chopping anything. I'm just going to, I don't know whether I'll chop anything or not. I just really want to spread it. And this thing vibrates terrible. I mean, it just vibrates terrible. So whoever owned this before me, they backed into something. You can see that right there, that they backed into something. And when they did, they bent it. They bent the mounts up in here, right there. See that? Kind of bent up a bit. And when they do that, it causes a problem. Like right here, this is bent up. I should probably just get the skid steer out, hook a chain to that thing, and pull it down. Because it is bent. And it shouldn't be bent. It's supposed to be straight. See? It's supposed to be straight. So I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to do. But it starts to rattle itself apart. Let's see if it gets through 1,100 acres. If not, well, the reason I just want to spread it is because I don't want to be drilling wheat through it. And a vertical tillage machine doesn't need to chop through that. Just to make a better stand of wheat and rye. So that's the deal there. So anyways, I like this old combine, just so everybody knows. And I will tell you, the guy that's got his equipment paid for is the guy that's going to make the most money. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, the fun stuff. Yeah, it snapped. All right, so what we're doing
Mommy,
is
take
tracking
the
down
part.
mouse tune wires. I still have no fan. AC should go to fan.
Daddy,
I'm not
have
sure
no,
whether it's going to be here.
I don't have no fan speed.
No fan speed. So we got to figure that one out. We do have windshield wipers.
Oh, that what the heck was that?
Windshield wiper.
Okay, it didn't work
This
before.
one got
Oh, it works. It
burned.
has worked, yeah.
Uh-oh.
My fan is not working. So I have to figure out whether it's in the roof. It's probably in the roof. If it's not in the roof, then I got to figure out how to get
Let's see, right now it's smoking.
Not smoking.
Not
Alrighty then. So what I'm gonna start to do, you see that water right there? Little man did that. Between the door. He peed.
Oh.
Yeah, he peed.
I did that.
Alright, so we're changing out. I'm here by myself again. Changing out some parts on this feeder house. It's not really difficult to deal with. It's just, I've got a lot of acreage to get over with a 31-year-old machine. And in order to actually make this 31-year-old machine function like as good as a 31-year-old machine can function, you kind of have to do some work to them. So let me get my camera here. Hopefully this thing stays up there. These things make me nervous as hell. Yeah, how can I do that? Right there? My little magnetic gizmo. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm just changing parts. You know, you kind of, that thing wants to fall off. I'm just changing parts. So you really should be vigilant on these things anyway. You don't really want to neglect these chains. What happens if you neglect these feeder house chains is they stretch. These chains stretch and then they wear out these pieces here. Like this guy here, you see how kind of messed up that is? That's probably because it's an original chain. And believe it or not, this combine really doesn't have that many hours on it. It's only got 1,800 separator hours on it. I think it ran and idled an awful lot because the engine hours are over 3,000, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know why they would be over 3,000 hours on the engine. So the other day I was explaining some welding stuff and I got promptly corrected by some people. Some that I may or may not respect their opinions, but I can tell you this much. Oh, my wife is here. I don't have formal training in welding. And maybe it shows, maybe it doesn't. But I will tell you, I don't like being told that I'm doing it wrong by somebody that says, I went to school to do this, but has no experience, right? Well, my wife is definitely here. She's here to stay. But that's okay. I mean, if you went to school and you have the experience, yay, then good. But I've built a lot of shit. Welded it together and used the practices and techniques that I know. And maybe I'm not good at explaining everything that I do and properly, but I'll take my experience over your schooling any day. And maybe I won't work on a job where I'm putting up buildings, but I do pretty good at gluing shit back together and building stuff and making it work, and that's all that matters to me. So if you went to school and you made a comment like, hey, you did that wrong because I went to school and they told me that you can't do that, but you've never welded or have only been welding for a short amount of time. I've been welding for 41 years. First weld I laid down when I was 9 years old. And you know what? That weld lasted until the truck was scrapped. And we scrapped that sometime in the 90s.
Right.
Alright, so it's a candle lit or lantern lit
Lantern lit
date. So what are we doing?
I don't know, we're working with something.
What do you call this thing?
I don't know.
Alright, so this is the straw chopper or the chaff spreader. This is straw chopper actually. This straw chopper, I'm not going to chop anything. I'm just going to spread it with this. Just fling it out of the combine out onto the ground. I don't know if I might put some blades in there. I don't know. It doesn't much matter to me one way or the other, whether I do it or not. I will say this though, my wife, this person right here, she is not someone that just shows up at the shop like for 5 minutes once a week, like somebody had suggested the other day. I posted a live video here the other day, or last night, or whenever it was. Maybe it is even tonight, I don't know. And she didn't know that I was recording. So, did you know I was recording?
No, I thought
So
you were talking to yourself.
She's in here working, and the camera was here on the dryer, and she was working, and we were just doing our thing. This is what we normally do. We work together. She's actually on the payroll, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
She's on the payroll. She gets paid. She draws an income, which from the farm, which is good. If you have a wife that is not on the payroll, you need to get one on there. It helps with your taxes. And but whatever, it's entirely up to you guys.
It's supposed to be a hush hush.
It's not supposed to be hush hush. You're on the payroll. You work. You're
am
here
on the
working every
payroll.
damn day.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I even put myself some raise.
Did you?
Yeah, you told me to do it.
How much of a raise did I give you?
I don't know. You gotta look on the payroll.
Well, no. You know.
Not much.
$500?
No, hell no. Why would I do that?
Oh,
You're
okay,
crazy.
good. So, because that's every other week, it'd be $1,000 a month more, and you might not be worth that. I don't know.
What?
So, anyways, we're working on the straw chopper. I'm taking the old ones off. She's putting the new ones on. She'll catch up to me here pretty quickly, but yeah.
It's the
So,
last batch, right?
yeah, that's the last row. There should be just enough. We'll have 3 left over because I got to replace those 3 mounts that they don't sell. You have to buy the complete rotor. Can you believe that?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, well, F that. I'll build it. So anyways, I got a comment on my live stream that kind of irks me a little bit. And I do want to touch on this. This combine's 31 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's 31 years old. It's not as old as her, but it's older than him. And it's nowhere near older than me. But it is, well, I'm 50, so I was 19 when this thing was built. William, you stay here. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, the problem with this combine is that it's paid for, I guess, and that annoys people. It annoys people. Bought this combine in 2008. My father was laid up in a sling. He had some rotor cuff surgery done, and you know, big deal. Had rotor cuff surgery done, right? So I was using the old TR70, and the TR70 was even older than this one is now. And I had an engine problem. It was just an injector, but it really wasn't worth me investigating at that time. And I just went out and we spent the $32,000 for this combine with a corn head. Did I have a corn head? No, I had a corn head. Just the combine and a grain head. And a grain head, $32,000, I think it was. No, $32,000 for the combine, and I think I paid $5,000 for the grain head, and it was a small one. It was the one that went to this one, but it was only 16 feet, and it sucked because I had gone from a 20-footer in the TR70 to this one. Now, I'm going to school a couple of you young kids that think that you ought to have a brand new combine every couple of years because I guess you like perpetual debt. Perpetual debt gets you nowhere unless you have money in the bank. Now, money in the bank and perpetual debt is that you can borrow money and then pay it back, and you know, within that year. That's perpetual debt, or debt that never goes away. That sucks because you're never ahead. And there are people out there that will just incur a debt and never ever care to get out from under it and never ever have anything other than debt. And then when they get to be like 75 years old, they think their equipment's worth what it was when it was new, and they go to sell it, and they walk away with, you know, just a few $100,000, sell their farm, move to town, commit suicide that next fall because they missed their farm. But maybe that's not entirely it, but anyway. My surmises of it. So this combine's paid for the minute I picked it up, and I would love to have a newer combine, and a newer combine is in the works, and that newer combine is going to be paid for with, you guessed it, a check or a cash. Not going to go out and spend $500,000 or $750,000 or $1 million on a new rig to combine, you know, a couple thousand acres. It's just not necessary. These combines did a couple thousand acres 30 years ago. They'll do a couple thousand acres today if they're maintained properly. And as long as you can get the parts to maintain these things, there's no point, and I mean there is no point in throwing a good machine away if you can get the parts to make it go you will put more money in your bank account than you will with a brand new machine. You're just not going to. I mean, the next thing that I see for this combine is probably tires. I've said already, I got a couple of belts that need to be replaced. That there is one of them. And there's a chain on the other side, and the feeder house chain needs to be replaced. So I've got under $1,000 into this combine so far this year. I put all new chains on it, new bearings. You can see there's new bearings there, up there. That's done. Did some work up in there. That's done. Changed the oil, and I see there's an issue there, and I'd like to know what happened to that squirrel cage, but something happened to that squirrel cage, and that's a problem because that squirrel cage is A, it's expensive, B, it'll allow dirt to get in there. Corn, not so much, but soybeans will find that hole and go right to it. So I guess I'm going to get some JB Welding. I'll JB Weld that thing. So, but anyway, I got to get done here, and yeah, we'll take our 31-year-old combine and make it, you know, perform some awesome things, right?
Yeah.
That's right. And you know what? I won't have that $30,000 a month combine payment, and that's something.
30 grand, damn.
Yeah, they have a John Deere put a promotion out for $29,999 for a 5-year lease on a brand new combine this year. And I thought, $30,000 a month. What the hell? $30,000 a month for one machine that you're never ever ever going to own. It's just going to go to back to the dealership in the end. And then somebody like me will go and buy it for, you know, a couple $100,000 with cash. And that'll be that. But anyway, there we go.